anyways, let's get into this. I was fortunate to meet you and have a mutual friend introduce us, and you've had a lot of success in life, and I'm sure you've had some ups and downs as well.
Oh yeah.
So I want to cover that, and then I want to get into your training, and because it's very unique. You have the entrepreneurship, you have the family lifestyle, a Kentucky boy. Yes, he's got Kentucky boy.
Grew up on a farm and everything.
So who is Austin Zulauf?
Just a 9th grade high school dropout, factory working father of 2 from Kentucky that didn't know if I could make it or not, but I tried. Here I am.
That's awesome. So let me ask you this. What are some of the things that you've had to overcome in life? I mean, a lot of people probably think that you're just this instant success. You made millions of dollars. You're this featured speaker, trainer. You're in demand by a lot of people who want your attention. And I'm sure you've had to say no to a lot of things, to say yes to a lot of great things.
Oh, yeah.
But what have you had to overcome? Or what obstacles have you had to overcome in life?
Yeah, sure. So I'm a true believer that things don't happen to you, they happen for you. And so, I grew up on a farm. I ended up dropping out in the 9th grade. I was involved in the streets from the time I was 12 all the way up to 19. And so I think what I really had to overcome most was my mindset, and the things that I was looking for out there because of, some things that I had to deal with. So I feel like the biggest difference between someone who lives a fulfilled life, I don't want to say someone that is successful and someone that's unsuccessful, but someone that lives a fulfilled life and someone who's not fulfilled is mindset. I mean, it's all mindset. It begins and ends with mindset. And so everything that I had to overcome, self-worth issues, whenever you make millions of dollars, whenever you are successful, then you think sometimes, am I worth this? I'm making a great check. Are they going to find out that I'm not really that good and stuff like that? And so it was all mindset related stuff.
Right. And that's what you see. You see so many people that when they come into money, they have a hard time holding it. They're keeping it, right?
Self-sabotage, those feelings of self-worth, it is very prevalent, and especially in our profession.
Yeah. So let me ask you, so a lot of people they're watching this and they're saying, I'm not Austin Zulauf. I don't know if I can do what he can do. How do you start with someone that's brand new, just looking to make the first step in life? What is your recommendations? How do they start improving? Because you've trained thousands and thousands of people. You've been the keynote speaker in front of flown everywhere to speak in front of on success and personal development and refining your skills. So to the new person looking at it, what is the first step? What do you recommend to them?
That's a great question. So I think Walt Disney said it very well. He said, the best way to get started is to quit talking and begin doing. And so what holds a lot of people up from ever being successful is they never actually get started. And so, just understanding that the expert in anything was once a beginner, that you have to take that first step before you can get to the top. I think the best advice that I would say is, first of all, know what you want. Sit down, put some thought into it, know what you're going after. You're not very apt to get where you want to go if you don't know where you want to go in the first place. So know what you're going after, and then just think of the first step and be consistent. We all heard of the story, the tortoise and the hare. The hare was very, very talented. He was fast. He was maybe handsome as Troy. And had all these good qualities. But the tortoise was consistent. And you just can't beat the man or woman that refuses to give up and shows up whenever other people, whenever your average person is taking the day off. So that's what I would say.
That's so awesome you say that, because you're talking about people just going out and being consistent and persistent, and we talk about knowledge and skill. Sometimes so much of life is going up that ladder of knowledge and skill, knowledge and skill, knowledge and skill, knowledge and skill. And there's that learned knowledge, but then you're talking about showing up the activity knowledge. Of it's if you learn something, it's not going to be any good if you don't put it in motion.
That's right.
Well, this is what you're an expert at. This is what you thrive at, training people, inspiring people. This is why people go out and they're thirsty for your knowledge, they're thirsty for your information. So what projects are you working on now? How do people get to more of, because I want more of Austin. Okay, if I want more than Austin, he's right here, and I want more of Austin. I can guarantee you they want more of Austin. So how do they get your information? What projects are you working on?
Sure, yeah. Well, so I want more of Troy. So I'm a big Troy fan. Okay, so, but yeah, so I have a premium training event that I host twice a year right now called the Dream Achievers. The link for that is always the same, austinzulauf.com/Dream Achievers. And what's really cool,
you got to spell Zulauf for them, though.
Yeah,
we want to make sure they get this.
I know.
Okay, we're gonna have
a more simple link,
okay,
like theevent.com or something. But it's Austin Zulauf, Austin Zulauf.com. But so the Dream Achievers, first of all, the average monthly income of the 6 speakers speaking at this coming Dream Achievers is over $250,000 a month.
Wow.
You know, the average of the 6, not including myself, but the average of the 6. So, you know, we always have people speak at these that they've been there, they've done it, and they've not just done it, but they know how to show other people how to do it. So I'm very, very particular on the people that we put on the stage at Dream Achievers. So if someone comes to a Dream Achievers intensive, they're going to walk away not only fired up, but they're going to walk away highly trained, highly motivated, just absolute sales volume producing, just machines. And a really cool thing that we do that I haven't really seen anyone else do is we do a 4-week follow-up whenever someone leaves as well. So whenever people leave the Dream Achievers Intensive, we do a 4-week follow-up through Zoom every Thursday. And so, you know, we get a
so
chance
they're leaving with a
out.
homework assignment.
They do. They do. And we
that's good.
And we inspect what we expect. That's a very important principle in leadership. We inspect what we expect 4 weeks out. And we do that so that it creates a habit. So they learn all that cool stuff, and then we help them create a habit.
That's awesome. I think it's so important to get around success. You know, you're kind of like mingling with the money. You know, so if you want what successful people have, if you want to be a great parent, get around great parents, right?
Yeah.
You want to have a great relationship with God, get around people that have a great relationship with God. Well, here, if you want to have a great relationship, if you want to get around a successful entrepreneurship, these are the events that people need to come to.
Yeah, well, plus, the last business that I was a part of, I retired as the #1 income earner, and I probably had, I don't know, maybe over half a dozen people in my organization that before they got involved, they were 6-figure monthly earners in, you know, previous companies, and I met pretty much all of them at events.
Wow.
You can't sponsor, you know, or ever bring in, you know, someone who's already successful by sitting at home building the whole thing from, you know, Twitter or whatever. You have to go to events. There's just no way around it. They have to know who you are. They're not going to just seek you out. They're not. I wish someone would just knock on my door and say, "Hey, I heard you were just awesome. I heard you were incredible. Your training is just wonderful. Here's $50,000, you know, to coach me. Can you please do that?" That doesn't happen. And I sit at home, you know, I tried. You know, but it doesn't happen.
Well, you know, you got to get around that talent. You know, nature is blind, so you know, nature doesn't care. You know, it's you're either growing or you're dying. Nothing in nature stays the same.
That's right.
So what you're saying is that you can't stay still. You know, because you go backwards. You got to get around the successful people and get around your trainings. So where do they find you on social media? How do people plug into you if they're at home right now and they say, "All right, I love what Austin had to say. How can I find him on social media?"
Yeah, I'm really easy to find. So you just look up Austin Zulauf. It's not too difficult. Austin Zulauf. I know the last name is just murder, but you know, Austin Zulauf. I've got a ton of free training on my Facebook business page. I've got a ton of free training on the website, austinzulauf.com, on the blog. I mean, we've got so much free training that if all anyone ever did was ingest the free training, they'd have all the training they need to be as successful as they want to be. But then we do a lot of specialty training and the paid trainings and that sort of thing. So.
And that gives you a flavor of what everything is about and who you are, what your content is.
Yes.
You know, they get to know you more personal. Then when they come to your training, it's like pouring gasoline or lighter fluid on a barbecue, jet fuel,
napalm.
Because the other thing, it's not just meeting, you know, people like you at the events, but they get to meet other people that are growing and climbing and learning at these events as well.
Oh yeah, and you know, a lot of times whenever you're out there in the battlefield, in the trenches by yourself, you're getting told no, your uncle's telling you you're crazy, and you know, your grandma gets her arm caught in the microwave, whatever it is. All the crazy stuff that happens in network marketing, you get the sense that you're alone sometimes. You know, if you don't stay plugged into your team, plugged into your company, and then plugged into your profession. It's also important to understand that network marketing is more than a profession, it's also a community. You know, it's a community of people that, you know, are uplifting, they're supportive. I was sitting down to lunch today, and I probably got greeted by friends of mine from, I don't know, maybe a dozen different companies that live all over the world. And you know, we've never done business together personally, but it's a community. And if you really want to be successful in this profession, become a part of that community, for sure.
Well, I appreciate having you here. I think, you know, one of the things that when I look at the people who are the happiest in life, the people that are, you know, you meet and they're just glowing, are the people that go out and help people. Yes. The people that are going out and making a difference and inspiring people, and you're just one of those people. And so, I mean, for you to, you know, to come here and to, you know, share your knowledge with us is, you know, very appreciative. So what are some of the last tips that you can give to somebody, you know, that is, you know, starting off or maybe want to refine your skills? You know, obviously they want to go to your events, but what are some of the other things that you can give them?
So yeah, I mean, I guess in closing, one of the final things that I could say is maybe best described through an analogy. So I was at my house recently, and I saw the trash can. You know, you pull it out, and then your trash can. My son, he just likes to pile trash on there and then close it back. You know, and he never takes it out. So we had to have a talk. I told him, if you see something that needs to be done, don't wait for me to do it for you. So if you're in your company, if you see that there's a lack of training, if you see that there's a lack of a support system, if you see that there's opportunity calls that you don't particularly think are exciting, if something needs to be done, don't wait for your upline or your corporate team to take the trash out for you. You go ahead and do it yourself. Like MLM is not just multi-level marketing, it's mentors leading mentors. And you have to understand that as soon as you sign that distributorship, you're a mentor, you're a leader. Mentors leading mentors. And so if you see something that needs to be done, you know, don't just go ahead and do it yourself, okay? Because, you know, if you sit around and wait for someone else to do it, it may not ever happen, and there might be a whole lot of other people that are waiting for you to do that same thing too. What a great story. I love hearing those stories, and right to your children and that. So that's phenomenal. So I want to thank you, Austin, for coming on, and my pleasure. I know we're going to have some good times going forward. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Absolutely. Thanks a lot. All right.